Good morning, students. Today we'll begin with the first chapter of physics, that is electrostatics. Electrostatics. Electro stands for charge and statics means at rest. So electrostatics is the branch of physics that deals with the charges at rest. There is another term called electrodynamics, which deals with the charges in motion. So first thing that comes is the definition of charge. Charge is intrinsic characteristic property of a fundamental particle, just like mass. That means like every object, whether very small to the size of subatomic particle or very large, all have certain mass. For example, if I talk about electron, its mass is 9.1 into 10 to the power minus 31 kg. Although it is very small, but still it is there. Similarly, every object has charge in it, from huge to the size of Earth or subatomic particle like electron, which has a charge of 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulombs. It produces electrical and magnetic effects both. When the charges are set into motion, charge per unit time we call as current, and current produces magnetic field around, as we have learned through Oersted experiment. SI unit of charge is coulombs. Its dimensional formula is m0 L0 T1 A1, which is derived from the formula Q is equal to IT, where both I and T are the fundamental quantities. Charge is a scalar quantity that they can be added algebraically, and examples of charged particle are electron, proton, alpha particle, and so on. Like I said, charge is universal, that is, charge is present in everything around us. Neutral objects have equal number of positive and negative charges. Neutral term does not mean no charge. In fact, equal number of positive and negative charges that cancel out the effect of each other. Charged objects have lack or excess of electrons. That is, if an atom is positively charged, it means it has lost electrons. That is deficiency. It has deficiency of electrons. And if an atom is negatively charged, it means it has gained electrons, or it has excess of electrons. Properties of charges. Charge is quantized. Charge on a body must always exist as an integral multiple of fundamental unit of charge E. Here integer means a whole number, or which is not in fractions. For example, if I ask you to count the number of students, you will count as 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on, but you will never say 4.5 or 5.5. Same way, charge always exists in whole numbers, but there can be case when we talk about clocks, which have charges plus 2e upon 3 and minus e upon 3. Example, in case of protons and neutrons, which are made by the combination of 3 quarks. But they are exclusion, as they never exist independently. There is a formula I have written, Q is equals to plus minus Ne, where Q denotes the total charge on a body, N represents the number of free electrons, and E is the charge on a electron. The fundamental unit of charge here means this is the minimum amount of a charge that a body will possess. This is the minimum quantity of charge. What is the value? 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. The second property says like charges repel, whereas unlike charges attract each other. Charge is conserved. That is, total charge on an isolated system remains same. You can see from the equation, charge on the left side of equation when added algebraically comes out to be 1 coulomb, and same on the right hand side. The next property is relativistic invariance. Unlike mass, the charge on a body does not vary with speed. That is, q of rest is equals to q of motion. According to Einstein theory of relativity, if an object moves comparable to the speed of light, its mass increases, but with charges it is not so. Therefore, they are used in hadron colliders to discover other fundamental particles. The next property is additivity of charges. The total charge in a system is obtained simply by adding charges algebraically. Here in the example, like you can see, there are a system of 3 charges with charge minus 2 coulomb plus 4 coulomb and minus 3 coulomb. If you add them algebraically, the total charge comes out to be minus 1 coulombs. Methods of charging. There are 3 methods of charging. One is charging by friction, second is charging by conduction, and third is charging by induction. Charging by friction requires rubbing of two objects. Magnitude of total charge on both the bodies remains the same, but the nature is opposite. That is, if one body acquires plus 2 coulomb of charge, another body will have minus 2 coulomb. The magnitude 2 is same for both. Like here you can see the example with when the silk cloth is rubbed with glass rod. The glass rod acquires the positive charge and silk cloth would be left negatively charged. Now which body will acquire a positive charge depends on its affinity towards the electrons. There is a series called triboelectric series. The materials which come on the top in the triboelectric series will acquire positive charge and the one below will gain negative charge. Charging by conduction, which requires only contact between the two objects. Remember, there should not be any rubbing. The conductors would be charged with the same sign and the total would be distributed. For example, if ebonite rod gained 4 coulomb of charge, that would be divided among both. That is, the ebonite rod also would be left with 2 coulomb of charge and same 2 coulomb of charge would be transferred to the spherical metal ball, which you can see here in the figure. Now one more thing to notice is ebonite rod was first charged through friction, then it was brought closer to the spherical ball for the conduction process. The third process is charging by induction. Remember, in this there would neither be rubbing of two bodies together nor they will be touching each other. By induction, the charge developed will always be opposite to the charge on the stimulating body. For example, you can see here in the picture A, two spherical metal balls are kept on an insulating stand. So that insulating stand is kept so that the charges should not transfer to the ground. Now another rod which is positively charged is brought closer. Remember, no touching. In figure B, what happened is positive charges repel the positive charges. So there is a collection of negative charges towards the end of one sphere and positive charges towards another end. Now the two spheres are separated, as you can see in figure C. So sphere A will now have all negative charges and sphere B will have all positive charges.
Now solve the practice worksheet. Thank you.